Hey guys, before we get into the video, be sure to smash that like button. Which one is better, Sonic Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2? A question as old as time. Hopefully today we can find out that answer. Hey guys, Yoshi Bros 1389 here, and in this video, we are going to find out which game is better, Sonic Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2. But here is the catch. I won't come up with a decision of which game is better. You will. I will list both of the game's pros and cons. And at the end, after hearing all of the info, I want you to head over to the straw poll and decide which game you are voting for. After a week of the video being up, I will reveal the winner in a community post. Alright, without further ado, let's go. So let us start off with Sonic Adventure, and more specifically Sonic Adventure's pros. Firstly, let's talk about Sonic. Sonic and Sonic Adventure feels so good to control in this game. Sonic and Sonic Adventure is amongst the best controlling Sonics in the whole franchise, which is crazy if you think about it. Pro number 2, the story is great. For being the first fully mainline 3D Sonic game, the story really does not disappoint. Things like the story of Chaos and Tikal is really interesting, and how each character's slowly uncover things that happened in the past. The hub worlds are pretty good. They are not too big, while at the same time, they are not too small. It is really fun to run around them getting from level to level. Tails is really fun to control, and honestly, I love zooming through his levels. They could be a little longer though. The treasure hunting stages in this game are really fun, and not to mention you can actually track all 3 emerald shards, unlike somebody. Gamma's gameplay is also really fun, like quote-unquote almost every character in this game. He is just so much fun to control. Not only that, but getting the rush of going through the stages and shooting enemies while also having the timer count down. Overall, I really like Gamma's gameplay. The game, like almost any Sonic game, has an incredible OST. Here are some songs that I love off the top of my head. The game has incredible looking CGI cutscenes, and oh, especially the intro cutscene. If you have not already, check out my video on why the Sonic Adventure intro is so good. Lastly, the game has an epic climactic final boss. Only complaint is, I wish it was a little harder. Alright, so those were what I think were Sonic Adventure's pros. Get ready for its cons. So starting off with my first con, Amy. Amy, while not being super bad like most people on the internet would say, she is not really fun. She controls like dog water. When she runs up slope, she loses so much speed. And oh man, I hate this. When you think you have enough speed to do that flip thingy, but she just slams her hammer. While not being the worst thing ever, I definitely think Amy is a con when it comes to Sonic Adventure. Who would have saw this one coming? Big the Cat. Alright, so I think if his fishing gameplay, actually worked, it would not be too bad. But geez Louise, are the controls bad. Trying to get the line to Froggy is such a hassle because of the controls. And when you actually get Froggy on the bait, reeling him in is a whole different story. I really have no idea how this mechanic works. Is it just random? You mash A basically to reel Froggy in, but then we have this. If it goes over, you are dead. I found Big's gameplay overall really hard because of these horrible controls. I think if they were a lot better, Big would not be such a problem. But he is. So I think the cutscenes in Sonic Adventure are cons. But you could also consider it a nitpick, but whatever. I think it is a con when comparing these two games, so yeah. The cutscenes in this game, they are bad. They are quite awkward to watch sometimes, honestly. And yes, I know the game came out in 1998. 3D was new and all, but like I said, we are comparing these two games. And in the cutscene department, Sonic Adventure falls right on its face. On the topic of cutscenes, we've got to talk about this lip syncing. Man, I mean, just look at this. In all honesty, the lip syncing is quite comical. The way characters move their mouths is just... I would definitely call this a con. Alright, the game is quite buggy. There are quite a few places where you'll just fall through the level, with this being quite the iconic bug. While yes, if you are half decent at Sonic games, these will most likely not happen to you. But still, the game is quite janky in some areas. Before I move on, I just want to call out the people that say,
"Oh, SADX introduced all the glitches. The Dreamcast version had none of those glitches."
Which is true, but the Dreamcast version still had glitches. But my problem is, these people that say the Dreamcast version has no glitches act as if somebody's gonna go out and buy a Dreamcast and buy the Dreamcast version in modern times. You know, like, nobody's gonna do that. Like nobody's going to buy an old console to play a version of a game that has quote-unquote less glitches. But then again, you could just emulate the Dreamcast version. But you would be better off playing the SADX version because it is superior to the Dreamcast version in every way. So, for new players, the hub worlds are not great. While I did say the hub worlds were pro, I also think they are kind of a con. For new players, the game does not really give you instructions on where to go, so usually new players just get lost. I know there is Tikal there to help you, but the game does not tell you that she's even there. But then again, if you see this, why won't you try and touch it? So compared to SA2, you have to beat 6 individual stories to get the ending. Unlike in SA2, where you just need to play 2 campaigns. If you were to cut out, I'd say 3 of the total campaigns in SA1, the main plot would still be the same. So if these characters add nothing to the main story, why have them here and be mandatory to beat to get the final true ending? Bosses in this game kind of suck. They put up no fight and really add nothing to the game's experience. For the most part, I think the majority of the bosses could have been a lot better. But I do like the Chaos 6 boss fight, Amy's final boss, Sonic's final boss, Tails' final boss, and Gamma's final boss. So yeah, those were what I think were the pros and cons of Sonic Adventure. Now, I just want to give my overall thoughts on the game. Overall, I think Sonic Adventure is a great Sonic game. Great gameplay, great visuals, and great story, great soundtrack, and overall, a pretty solid game. Alright, that is enough about Sonic Adventure. Let us move on to Sonic Adventure 2. So to start off the list of pros, I think every single gameplay style is just so polished. Everyone controls great, and I really have no complaints when it comes to the gameplay styles in this game. Just like Sonic Adventure 2 has an amazing story. Like, everything about it is great. The mystery around Shadow, Sonic breaking out of jail, like 2 times. The character interactions, the dialogue. I just like everything about the story. Definitely one of the best Sonic stories in the franchise. The soundtrack is great. Play any of the game's songs and you won't be disappointed. The game has an epic climactic final story and boss. We learn more about Gerald's plan and everyone works together to stop it. Sonic and Shadow going super, and Shadow dying. Alright, the cutscenes in this game are a huge improvement compared to the ones in Sonic Adventure. Like, the improvements are just night and day. The characters move more naturally and do not look like animatronics. The game is really streamlined compared to Sonic Adventure. Instead of having 6 gameplay styles, there are now 3. Hub worlds are removed, so the player just goes from level to level now. The good thing about the game being streamlined is that new players will have no problem getting through the game and cannot get lost in hub worlds anymore because, well, there are no hub worlds. Now, for the most part, the game features amazing levels. To name some off the top of my head, of course, City Escape, Radical Highway, Wild Canyon, Pumpkin Hill, Mission Street, and that Eggman level. Lastly, the game is not buggy. Compared to Sonic Adventure, you can play this game from start to finish without encountering a single glitch, like falling through the level or going through a wall. Sonic Adventure 2 is just a better built game. Alright, you heard the game's pros, let's move on to its cons. Starting off the list of cons, the radar only picks up 1 emerald. Going from Sonic Adventure where the radar picks up every emerald, to then going to Sonic 2 where the radar only picks up 1 emerald. It kinda sucks. Mad space. Quite possibly the worst level I have ever played in a Sonic game. Moving on. The mechs. More specifically how clunky they are. While it makes sense why the mechs feel clunky to control, I mean, look at them. Do you think this thing would be able to move buttery smooth? But then again, I still think the mechs don't feel that good to move, and they're kind of slow when moving up inclines. Kind of like a pink girl I know. Lip syncing is pretty off most of the time, and I know why it's like this, but it is still a con nonetheless. The audio mixing is really bad in the HD ports. Like, it is so bad. When I play a regular stage, for example, Metal Harbor, I have to turn down my volume all the way to 2. Don't even get me started on the cutscenes. It is pretty hard to actually hear the characters in some scenes because the music is so loud compared to the voice tracks. Like, how did someone at Sega hear this and say, yep, this is fine? My last con is the cutting off of character lines. This does not happen very often, but when it does, I mean, just wow. Like, what the heck? So now I just want to give my overall thoughts on Sonic Adventure 2. I definitely think it is one of the best Sonic games to date, and definitely one of the most polished Sonic games as well. Like I said before, all of the gameplay styles are really good and polished, and are all fleshed out with their own unique attributes. Overall, I think Sonic Adventure 2 is... But is it? So after I have presented you with Sonic Adventure's pros and cons, as well as presented Sonic Adventure 2's pros and cons, which game do you think is better? Head to the straw poll, like, right now. You should see a card right now in the top right corner. Click it and head to the straw poll and leave your vote. Remember, every vote counts, so get your butt over there and vote. After this video has been out for a week, I will post the winner in my community tab. So be sure to have notifications on so you can know which game is victorious. If you enjoyed the video, well, consider giving it a like. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And when you do, turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Alright, hope you had a great day. See ya!